everyone, I'm Katie with SPCA International, and I'm joined today with Helen Summerfield-Brown, the president and founder of Stray Dog Support. Helen, how are you doing today?
I am doing wonderful. It is a rainy day today, so any excuse to be inside.
Love it. Wonderful. Could you start off by telling us a little bit about Stray Dog Support?
For sure. So, Stray Dog Support has been in operation since about 2018. We are a 501c3 nonprofit based in the United States in sunny Wisconsin. And we are an international street dog rescue, but we also rescue other animals like donkeys, cows, horses, every other animal you can think of. And we are operating in multiple countries, including India, Egypt, Pakistan, Malaysia, Philippines, Mexico, Iraq. You name it, we're all over the world, in Turkey as well. And we specialize in doing street feeding programs, vaccination programs, spay neuter programs, emergency medical care, and we also support shelters with infrastructure. And we also support grassroots rescuers who are on the ground with the animals. And we also do international adoption. So we work hard to get the animals healthy, and then we get them adopted either here in the United States, in Canada, the UK, and even in Europe. So we are, a global organization that is concerned about the animal the animal welfare and all over the world. So that's what we do.
Wonderful, wonderful. And can you tell us a little bit about when our partnership began?
Yeah, so actually our partnership began like before I even had this rescue. Your organization helped me as an individual rescuer with a dog from Iraq many, many years ago. His name was Lucky. He had some twisted arms. And you guys, SPCA, gave us some amazing help. I was new to this. I had no idea what I was doing. And with the support of SPCA, we were able to get this dog Lucky from Iraq here to Wisconsin, actually. And Lucky lives around the corner, so I get to see Lucky. And then once I got my rescue started, my Stray Dog Support, an SPCA has, always been there for me from the very beginning. And I remember the very first, I think, shelter program that we did was for a hoarding situation in Kolkata, India. There was a gentleman there that had hundreds and hundreds of dogs in his private residence. He had no food, no water, no fridge. He had his dogs were running around the streets. Of course, the neighbors were getting upset at him because he had no walls to keep the dogs in. The house was like a typical hoarding situation. He had snakes in there. He had rats. Dogs were sick. So through our partnership with SPCA, we managed to get the house cleaned out. We managed to get all the dogs vaccinated and dewormed, and we also got some of them spayed and neutered. We also created a boundary wall for him. We got him a fridge and some cooking supplies, so and a lot of food and water. So it was a really great partnership. That was the very first partnership that we did with SPCA, and since then there's been a number of other partnerships that we've been doing. But in addition to not only the financial grants, SPCA has always been there for me in terms of just being like a source of information, a source of connections, such a collaborating partner. So it goes a long way back. And I probably talk a lot, so just, you can cut me off at any time. But, through our collaborations, SPCA has sort of become more like a family to me. I have gained some amazing friendships through SPCA who, I'm very close with. And it has just been an amazing partnership from the very beginning.
That's wonderful. We're so happy to hear that. And we're so glad that we're able to give those logistics and the help that we can to our partners around the world. So yeah, thank you very much for sharing that. The next question I have for you is, what are the Stray Dog Support current projects? So what projects are you working on currently?
Well, okay, so we have a number of projects. There's so many going on. We actually just finished a project in Uganda with SPCA and another group called Uniquely Paws, who are a New York-based organization that are currently in Uganda. So with collaborative efforts between SPCA, Stray Dog Support, and Uniquely Paws, we did a rabies vaccination clinic and a spay and neuter clinic for the Laswera district in Uganda, and that was an amazing success. It was also also about education. So we helped educate the local community about animal health. So that was one huge project. And we are also working with SPCA on another project, in a couple of other projects in Egypt, which I'll tell you about in a little bit. But in terms of stray dog support, we've got shelter development going on in Macedonia. We have shelter development going on in Mexico through our Save Australia initiative, where we're working with not only the municipalities, but the universities to do spay-neuter clinics in Mexico. So that's an exciting project for us. And of course, we're also in Egypt building out some shelters there, which is a partnership with SPCA. And we're also in India. We're doing some projects, like Mission Rabies. We're working with some global vets in different countries to get different projects going up. So we are, in addition to the over 400 dogs that we currently have in our program that are in either boarding facilities or in shelters around the world that we support every month. And continuing to help local feeders, help local rescuers with emergency medical cases. So in terms of projects, we've got lots going on. We have so many more exciting projects that are developing, and it's busy. It's crazy busy.
That's wonderful. Yeah, always a lot of moving parts in animal welfare, and it's amazing that you can have this paw print in like so many places. Next question I have, kind of piggybacking on our partnership with what's going on in Egypt. Can you explain to us what is happening there and what we are doing to address the situation?
Yeah, so like many countries, Egypt's animal welfare laws are not very good. And there is a huge street population of dogs that are not treated very well. And overall, and a lot of working animals like donkeys and horses. So the situation there is very bad. And dogs are seen as nuisances, unfortunately, and there are, shelters are just overflowing with animals. I mean, we can't keep up. There are shelters there that have thousands of dogs in them. I mean, it's insanity. So, with stray dog support, we've been for a long time now supporting a number of shelters in Egypt with emergency medical care, helping them with shelter infrastructure, whether it be, building walls, building rooms, providing generators, and just basic infrastructure. We're doing that continuously. So, for us, we have currently, probably about 100 dogs in Egypt, more than 100 dogs probably that are sitting there waiting for adoption. We've actually got 8 dogs coming over from Egypt in the next couple of weeks, which we're super excited about, all from horrible backgrounds. So once we get these animals well, we try to find them homes, like I said, here in the US, Canada, the UK. And that's been a big focus on us trying to get those rehomed. But also in the meantime, trying to work with local rescues and shelters, trying to work on advocacy to try to change the laws in Egypt, which is very difficult. But that's one thing that we really need to sort of shift focus on, is to focus on changing the laws there, and also continuously doing our spay, neuter, and our vaccine, I would say, clinics and programs there, as well as educating people, because education, knowledge is power, and if we can educate the local community on animal welfare, that's a big step forward.
Yes, that's wonderful. Yeah, I feel like the package, it's so hard to come up against the situations that are happening around the world. I mean, even with Turkey, you were at our Turkey rally to
The
change
turkey rally.
legislation is very tricky, but education is so important, and just like having a
Absolutely.
presence is so important.
Absolutely, and
Yeah.
in Egypt, that's it's a big thing. And even here in the United States, I'm working on the local level with our local government to try to change some of the laws that are, here in the United States, here in Wisconsin, here in my my county even. So,
Yeah,
once we change the laws, that just helps us a lot more. So it's a big focus on what we're trying to do as well.
absolutely. The last question that I have for you is, how has our partnership furthered Stray Dog Support's mission?
Well, how long have you got? And so, like I said at the start, SPCA have just been an amazing support from the very beginning. When I've asked for help in terms of not only from shelter, things like shelter grants, and we've been able to help a number of different shelters We've helped a number of different with a number of different programs, and through the help of SPCA, which is great. SPCA and SDS are very similar in terms of their mission statement, because you're a global organization as well, trying to help animals in different communities, and so we're very, very similar, and we align so well. And the work and the support that you give me has certainly been able for me to advance the work that we've been doing in these other organizations around the world. And we've done so much. Like I said, we have, like, currently in Egypt, we've working on a project with SPCA that's actually going to be supplying water to a shelter who's had to build out in the desert, and currently they're getting in. The only way they can get in water is to bring in truckloads of water, and that's expensive. So we're in the process now of getting engineers in to try to survey the land so that we can actually get water coming in through the normal means. So, just turning on a tap, they can turn on a tap and water comes out. They can put water in the pool for the dogs, because it's like over 100 degrees in Egypt, and out in the desert, you can only imagine. So we're currently working on that project with SPCA support. And we're also at another shelter helping a shelter who's got dogs that have nowhere to run around. And they're all inside, like, not cages, but in rooms. So we're in the process of building out like a play area for them through the support of SPCA grant, which is absolutely amazing. So we've been able to do things like that. Again, you are a Rolodex of knowledge. I work so closely with people like Laurie and Haley, but Laurie is like I call her my international Rolodex. If I ever have I call her and say, hey, do you know anybody in, I could be like the most random country in the world, and she will sort of say, yeah, I know somebody, or if I don't, I know how to get hold of somebody. So that's been great. And, vice versa. She sometimes will reach out to me to see if I know anybody. So it's just this collaborative partnership that's always been there from the start. And it's just the sharing of knowledge, the sharing of resources. If I can help you guys out, I help you guys out, and vice versa. So it's more like a family. I wouldn't even say, it has that business relationship, but it's more than that. I met all of you guys out in New York and Turkey, which was wonderful, to seeing the people behind the organization. Everybody is genuinely true animal lovers.
Helen, thank you so much for your time. We are so proud to stand by Stray Dog Support and be in partnership with you. And thank you so much for all that you do on behalf of the animals.
And right back at you guys. And thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk about my rescue and our partnership. And, I hope anyone that's watching is to support SPCA International, amazing organization, and the people there work so hard. And of course, if you'd like to support the Stray Dog Support, that would be okay too. So thank you guys for everything. It's been great. It's wonderful. And we've got so many more amazing projects to do in the future. And I cannot wait for the next chapter, our next project, our next exciting thing that we're doing together.
Absolutely. Thank you, Helen.
Thank you.